Hello friends and welcome back. I'm Alicia Ann and today we are gonna spill some tea. There's a lot of bad information out there about the voice, and truthfully, we've all made assumptions or believed things about singing that just aren't true. For the longest time, I thought that you had like a dozen vocal cords in here, like one per note, and you just had to like train each one how to be perfectly in tune to sing all the right notes. But it turns out that is not the case. You only have 2 vocal folds. So today we're gonna shine some light on 5 common misconceptions about the voice. Number 1, falsetto and head voice are the same. No ma'am, that is false. Before we learn in depth about the voice, we're told that head voice is the high register for women and falsetto is a high register for men. But this is just not true. Women have both head voice and falsetto, and so do men. They have both head voice and falsetto. There's one important distinction between the 2 registers. Head voice is singing with connection. You often hear me refer to it as on the body when I do my uncovers, while falsetto can be that same range but without the connection. So it results in a thinner and more airy sound. To give you a little side by side, I will sing a line in falsetto and then that same line in head voice. This is me singing in falsetto. This is me singing in my head voice. Same exact notes, but it sounded very different because one was supported in head voice and the other was unsupported in falsetto. Pretty interesting stuff. Number 2, drinking tea and water will help my voice in that moment. Wrong again, because the tea and the water never actually get close to the vocal cords at all. Or at least they shouldn't. Have you ever been eating and drinking and then suddenly you're like, oof, it went down the wrong pipe? That sensation is when the food or drink is touching your vocal cords. You have one pipe for food and water and you have a different pipe for air in the respiratory system. That is where your vocal folds are kind of housed. So since it never actually touches your vocal cords, that tea and honey is not doing for you what you think it is. Of course, it's so important to stay hydrated, but it doesn't really do much for you in the moment. Number 3. High notes require more air. It's actually the opposite. While high notes do require more air pressure, increasing the amount of air that you push in and push out can actually cause vocal strain when you're in the upper register. A huge part of learning how to sing is learning how to control the air so that you can use less on the high notes, while giving it the support underneath to create a healthy tone. Number 4, falsetto is produced with the false vocal cords. That is a falsetto belief. It's false. It's not true. I need to work on my pun delivery, but no, that's not correct. I did actually used to believe this one when I discovered everything about the false vocal cords. And backing up a little bit, some of you out there might be saying like, false vocal cords, what are you talking about? But yes, right next to your main vocal cords is the false vocal cords. False vocal cords do not participate in healthy sound production. They have a more protective function. They guard the larynx from food entering the breathing tube. As we covered in our first myth, falsetto is still a function of the real vocal cords, but what's lacking is the connection and support. And our last myth we're going to debunk here today is number 5, it's bad when your voice cracks. Stop stigmatizing voice cracks. And bigger picture here, I don't like to assign moral value to anything we do in singing. Meaning, in general, I disagree with the philosophy of saying something is good or bad. There is more effective and less effective, or more successful and less successful. But removing the moral value gives you room and freedom to innovate. Does that mean I will never say things are good and bad? No, I definitely will. But in general, I do try to shy away from that language because it discourages growth instead of encouraging it. And because of reasons like this point, it is a myth. Vocal cracks aren't bad. Whew, now that I got that off my chest, let's talk about the scientific why. Cracking is a normal part of vocal development. Everyone's voice cracks, especially if you're under the age of 25 to 28. Your voice is still developing, and so it's normal for it to crack. And if you are over that age and are still experiencing vocal cracks, it's because cracking is a result of inefficient vocal coordination. You just haven't trained the voice, and an untrained voice is not bad. And side note, if you are under the age of 25 and you aren't having vocal cracks or you've never had a vocal crack, some might argue that you're not exploring your voice enough. Playing it too safe can result in never really learning the full capabilities of your voice. Just because of fear that you're gonna have a voice crack, like, what a lame reason to never reach your full potential. Reach for the stars, explore what it can do, and when it doesn't quite go exactly how you want it, it's okay, it's normal. Don't feel bad about it. Woo, we have spilled some serious tea today. I hope that you found some of these myths interesting to debunk. Let me know which one surprised you the most. And do you have any follow-up questions to anything I talked about today? Leave them down below. I would love to engage in a conversation with you about it. So that's gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay well and keep singing.